And to help make sense of all of this and shed more light, we are joined by the former Commissioner of Education in Lagos State, Honourable Folashade Adefisayo. A warm welcome to you, madam, and thanks for joining us on the news.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Honourable Adefisayo, what are the key challenges Nigerian schools face in integrating AI into their curriculums, and how do you think these challenges can be overcome?
Thank you. That's a massive question. But the factors they face include access to digital technology, because they just aren't, it's still unaffordable for so many people, for the majority of the children in this country, majority of the schools in this country. So access to computers, to tablets, to other devices is just low. And then there's also data. Data is very expensive here. If you go to other places, I don't think it's this expensive at all. So it's very expensive to access data. Though I will say that there are some, especially the telcos, there are one or two of the telcos who are working hard at providing like an educational package so that children in schools can access a lower fee package for their children. So that's great. And some of them even have portals where they put a lot of materials which are curriculum accessible, which are in line with our curriculum. So I will say that the most important is that this inequitable access to the devices and the software and the data that will enable any child to be able to work on this material. Then again, there's a dearth of skills. Many of our teachers really do not understand AI yet. It's not, obviously, it's not in the teacher training curriculum, but even if it is not in the teacher training curriculum, there are some schools that are actively using it. And if you talk to their teachers, they've all had to learn it themselves. So again, I think we have to work on our teachers to build more curiosity, more interest in seeing how they can work with AI. Many are afraid that it will take away their jobs. The way I look at it is, if you don't get involved with technology, you will not have a job after a while, because you'll just be an old-fashioned teacher who cannot cope with the reality of what is happening in the marketplace. So again, we have to work on our teachers, and then our curriculum itself. We have to work on our curriculum and ensure that there's room in it for other things. There's room in it for AI, for the use of AI, for robotics, like you said, for app development, for website development, for the whole gamut of what you do with digital literacy. So again, for me, I think there are so many things that we need to access. And I think it's doable and possible, especially with collaboration. Collaboration between the private sector, the public sector, between non-development partners. There are lots of initiatives, by the way. There are lots. Remember the teacher who said there are schools that are doing some of these things. There are lots of initiatives, but it hasn't permeated deep yet. And there are too many children who are out of this. It's too the access to it is just too inequitable. And that to have effect.
That brings me to my next question, Honourable Adefisayo. You did mention in your submission that affordability and access to these digital tools and data, the cost of it might be a problem. In what ways, in what creative ways can the government, in partnership with the private sector, help to develop this AI skills, especially in public schools where a lot of these things aren't readily available?
Well, I think we've had examples in the past of private sector collaborating with government. People are often willing to, but they really don't know where to start or who to work with. So I think government just has to reach out and say, look, this is what we intend to do. We've revamped our curriculum. We've revamped teacher training. We need these devices for our children. We cannot access, and it's too expensive for us to invest. There's so many things that government is investing in. So this just hasn't come to the forefront. So if they work with the private sector, usually the private sector is willing. Don't forget that they take the products of our schools and they want these children to be well educated. They want them to understand how to hit the ground running when they get to the workplace and to cope with life generally around them. So they are usually willing. So I think there just has to be a partnership, collaboration with companies, with individuals, like I said, with NGOs. And you remember during COVID, there were people, when it was found that even in Lagos State, there were children who didn't have devices, who didn't have even radio, 2,000 naira radios. We had all sorts of groups, church groups, mosques, and people, old students associations, companies, all sorts of people coming around. So I think if we're able to galvanize the public, and let them know why this is very, very key, then I think we should be able to build a collaboration that will work together to improve the education of the next generation. I think it's doable.
Very doable indeed, Honourable Adefisayo. We live in a very competitive world, and if you don't upskill yourselves with AI skills and technologies and just basically IT skills, you will sink if you don't swim, and you won't be able to compete in this global world. Having said that, what are the implications of the Ministry of Education in general, in the country, of not updating the teachers' curriculum to include an AI mandate and also information technology in general?
Well, in general, I've always been a crusader for us improving the teacher training curriculum significantly. There's so much that is just not there. So you find that even apart from IT skills and so on, I don't think teachers do enough of understanding the learner, understanding how to have multiple strategies for teaching, for assessing that learning is taking place. And so all these things can be supported with AI, So I think the implication, like you said, is that we are going to be graduating children who are obsolete and who cannot function effectively in the workplace. Because the power of AI, you know what AI can do when you have things like personalized learning. So a child is able to look at the young boy who said the teacher can't teach him everything, but he is able to go on to AI and learn a lot of things by himself. So when you are missing all that, you are, like you said, how will they compete in the workplace? How will they work with their peers in other countries? Increasing number of jobs are online, and that means it doesn't matter where you live. So if we are not careful, we don't want our students to be out of this kind of economy. So, because that means when a job is open, anybody can apply for it anywhere in the world. So it's taking jobs away from societies where the students, where the populace is just not educated enough to cope with the realities of the workplace, and taking them to other places. And I think if we're not careful, we start losing even all sorts of jobs, honestly, to other countries, just because our own students and teachers cannot teach the children to the level where they will be able to function effectively. I think it's a very, very key thing. It's almost existential in the way I look at it. And I hope other people are looking at it like that.
Thank you so much for your wonderful insights, Honourable Folashade Adefisayo, former Commissioner of Education, Lagos State. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay.